one of these enzymes is missing, and all of these enzyme deficiency will lead to low level of cortisol. That's a big thing, right? They will all have low cortisol, and because of the low cortisol, the negative feedback will be activated, and that will lead to high ACTH. This high ACTH will come to activate your adrenal gland, but because they're missing that enzyme, it won't make more cortisol, but it will lead to more production of other hormones besides cortisol. So it could be your like sex steroid hormones like androgens, or like your mineralocorticoids, or like aldosterone, right? Depending on what enzyme is missing. Okay, so let's start from beginning. So your starting product is cholesterol for all of them, right? In order to make this side of the chart, right, you need 17 alpha hydroxylase. And in order to make cortisol, besides 17 alpha, you also need 21 and 11 beta hydroxylase. You need both of these two in order to make cortisol. But for your mineralocorticoids, you need 21 hydroxylase and 11 beta hydroxylase. Now, if you have 21 hydroxylase, you can make the weak form mineralocorticoid, which is 11-deoxycorticosterone. You can still make this weak form, right? This is the weak mineralocorticoid. But 11 beta hydroxylase will give you this full strength mineralocorticoid. Okay, so let's go start with the most common. Let's say your 21 is missing. Can you make cortisol? No, right? Because you need both 21 and 11 beta hydroxylase. You need both of these two. There's no one with that, right? So this would be low cortisol, right? And this low cortisol will basically activate the negative feedback system, and it will lead to high ACTH. This high ACTH will come back and try to make more cortisol, but it can't make cortisol. It will make other hormones. So there will be, what will happen to your androgens? Do you have a problem with the 17 alpha hydroxylase? No, right? So this will be high. Now, what about your aldosterone or your mineralocorticoids? Can you make this? No, right? Because even to make the weak form, you still need 21, right? So this will be low. So now let's clear this up just to make it a little clear, right? So you have low level of cortisol, you will have low level of aldosterone, and you will have high amount of androgen, right? So low cortisol, low aldosterone, and high androgen. So low cortisol will have signs of symptoms of like nauseous, fatigue, hypoglycemia, right? And low androgen, that will be like hypotension, right? Because you don't have like that aldosterone effect. So then that would be like hyperkalemia, hyponatremia. And high androgen, well, in a female it would be ambiguous genitalia, and a male it would be early puberty or precocious puberty, right? So it would be a 4-year-old with puberty. All right, now let's go to your 11 beta. So let's say this enzyme is missing, right? So can you make cortisol? No, right? Because you need both of these in order to make cortisol. That will be low. Now, how about your aldosterone? While you cannot make your full strength mineralocorticoid, you can still make this weak form, right? So when you have a high ACTH coming back and activating in your adrenal gland, it will lead to high amount of 11-deoxycorticosterone, right? That will be high, and there's no problem with making your androgens, right? So you still have high amount of sex steroid hormones, right? So cortisol will be low. Your aldosterone effect will be high, so it'll be hypertension. And it's not due to aldosterone, but it's more because of deoxy. It's due to deoxycorticosterone, right? It's due to that. That's why you have some signs of like high amount of mineralocorticoids, right? Which will be hypertension, hypokalemia, hyponatremia, all of that. And high androgen will be same thing there, right? Now let's go and say 17 alpha. If you don't have 17 alpha, right, this whole side will be gone. So this would be gone. So the only thing is still running is this side. So you will have low cortisol, low androgen, and high mineralocorticoids. So your cortisol will be low, so you will have the same signs, fatigue, nausea, hypoglycemia. Aldosterone will be high, and then your androgen will be low. Like no low androgen in a female versus male. And a male, if you have low amount of androgen, you need that for their external genitalia, right? So they will have ambiguous genitalia, or sometimes they can even appear like a female genitalia, only with the absence of uterus and fallopian tubules. So they will have ambiguous genitalia externally, but internally they will have no female characteristics inside. A female with high level of androgen, low level of androgen, it won't show at birth, but in puberty they won't have their menstrual cycle, right? It will be primary amenorrhea, right? So no menstrual cycle, and this would be only told at puberty for females. Okay, so now the mnemonic, guys, right? Basically write A-T. A for aldosterone, right? T for testosterone, and that's basically for like your sex steroid hormones, right? And now write your enzymes. And now anywhere you see a 1, put an arrow up. Okay, so 21, there's no aldosterone, but your androgens or your testosterone will be high. 17, your aldosterone or your mineralocorticoids will be high, but no aldosterone, androgens. And 11 beta, you will have both of them are high.